peace. Love, love, love. Unity, unity, unity. Community, community, community. Family, family, family. Shlama, shlama, shlama. Peace, 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 peace. Love, 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 love. Unity, 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 unity. Community, 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 community. Family, 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 family. Shlama, 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 shlama. Today is February 21st, 2024. Just preparing my tea right now. I'll be reading a few books today. It says, one thorn of experience is worth a whole wilderness of warning. That's good. Make sure you drink your teas, your waters, your juices. Nice and strong. Events that changed the world. Let's see. Let's go to let's do this. First woman to get the vote. New Zealand, 1893. In the UK, women's suffrage had been an ongoing issue since the mid-19th century, and it wasn't until 1918 that some women received that right to vote, with full electoral privileges not granted until a decade later in 1928. But across the other side of the world in New Zealand, females had been voting since 1893. Under the British rule, the country had held its first parliamentary elections in 1853, after the British had passed the New Zealand Constitution Act a year earlier. However, as in its ruling nation, voting in New Zealand at that time was far from an equal opportunity or even a human right. Only certain members of society were allowed their say, depending on their age, race, sex, and social status. But in the second half of the 19th century, the voting criteria in New Zealand began to expand rapidly, first to the gold miners of any ethnic origin, followed by the Maori people, and seats being created for Maoris, Maoris, in 1867. By 1879, the government had implemented universal male suffrage, allowing all men in the country, including European settlers, the right to vote. Vastly improved opportunities for New Zealand women in the 19th century, not least in education, created a challenge to the ingrained social view that women should be confined to domestic matters. One of the movement's most notable members was British-born Catherine Shepherd, who helped form and lead the New Zealand wing of the Women Christian Temperance Union. In the 1870s and 1880s, support for the suffrage movement grew amongst members of Parliament, but the Liberal government was at odds with the issue, their cabinet member Richard Sutton being strongly opposed to it. When, when in April 1893 he succeeded John Balance as premier of New Zealand, the future looked bleak for the country females. But the huge amount of support from both man and woman on petitions that had narrowly failed in the past years could not be ignored. After a bill was passed in lower parliament, it rested on the Legislative Council. After Seddon pushed some councillors too far, they changed their votes to pass the bill 20 votes to 18. So New Zealand became the first nation to award all females the vote. It was a monumental step in women's rights. To the first woman wasn't voted into Parliament for another 40 years when Elizabeth McCombs was elected. And in 1997, Jenny Shipley became the country's first female prime minister, completing a journey for women that had taken over a century. That was that. Let's see another history. Man lands on the moon, July 20th, 1969. Let's see how accurate this is. Man lands on the moon, July 20th, 1969. It was an event so unbelievable and significant that some claim it did not even occur, and conspiracy theories persist to this day. But when the pictures of the man walking on the moon was shown live in 1969, the world watched in awe. The United States and the Soviet Union had been involved in what had been dubbed the space race since the Soviet launch of its Sputnik 1 satellite in 1957. Both nations wanted to be considered the planet's dominant force on land and on sea, in the air and in the space. The high point of dominance would be landing the first human on the moon. With millions of dollars plowed into the North American Space Administration, NASA, it was the USA that won the race, with the Apollo 11 mission launching on July 16, 1969. Its crew was headed by former Navy aviator Neil Armstrong, accompanied by the following astronauts: Michael Collins and Edward Buzz Aldrin. Their Saturn V rocket blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida just after 9:30 a.m., aiming to make history. 4 days later, the lunar module Eagle, manned by Armstrong and Aldrin, detached from the Columbia command module that still contained Collins and began its descent to the moon's surface. Their destination was a lunar plain known as the Sea of Tranquility. On reaching the surface, Armstrong reported, "Houston, tranquility based here. The Eagle has landed." 6.5 hours after landing on the surface, Neil Armstrong became the first man to set foot on the moon. With 600 million eyes watching on the earth, he uttered the immortal words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Aldrin soon joined him, and the pair spent time excuse me. Aldrin soon joined him, and the pair spent time photographing the surface and the lunar module and taking soil samples for analysts before planting a U.S. flag. They talked over a radio phone with President Richard Nixon, which he describes as the most historic phone call ever made from the White House. The crew of Apollo 11 splashed back down on Earth on July 24th in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Picked up by the U.S. naval vessel, they returned to land and spent 3 weeks in quarantine. They emerged to mass adulation of fame and adulation and fame, the only three humans in history to have set foot on another body in space. The Apollo program saw 6 more lunar landings complete in the next 3 years before NASA budget decreased and attention turned to the other experiments. but it is the moment when a man took his first steps on the moon that linger in the memory. Events that changed the world. Next thing I will be reading, um, Diamond Business Plan Agreement. I speak like a multimillionaire, funeral director, and basketball player whose check is deposited. When I can, I must. When I win, I'll win. When I lose, I'll win. Failure is not an option. I have set myself up for success. I have taken action in my life right now. I participate at a level 10 at all times. I'll be on God's time all of my life. I do what I said I would do. I have built the right power team. I empower myself to succeed. I have no debts. I dedicate 14 hours a week to Tru Hicks brand. I maintain an 800 credit score at all times. I protect my dreams. I have 333 million in my account. Keep being true and don't nobody stop you. Next thing I'll be reading is Money and the Law of Attraction cards. Shout out to my cousin Esther and Jerry Hicks. Cousins, rather. What's a cousin? 216. So I stopped yesterday right here. Oops, sorry y'all, give me 1 second. It says, my financial success do not require hard work. If you believe that you must work hard in order to deserve the money that comes to you, then money cannot come to you unless you do work hard. Financial success or any other kind of success does not require hard work. It requires alignment of thought. You simply cannot offer negative thought about things that you desire and then make up for it with action or hard work. When you learn to direct your own thoughts, you will discover the true leverage of energy alignment. Money isn't everything, but you are right. When you think money isn't everything, you surely do not need money to have joy in your experience. But in your society where so much of what you live is tied to money in some way, most of you associate money with freedom. And since freedom is a basic tenet for your being, then coming into alignment with money will help you establish a balanced footing that will be of value to you in all other aspects of your experience. There is no shortage of money or time. There is no shortage, and any intention to shortage of something wanted will always produce negative emotion within you because your guidance is letting you know that you have strayed from your broader basic understanding of abundance and well-being. Whether you are focused upon the shortage of money or seeing yourself as having only so many years to live, and so each day that is expanded is one day closer to the end of your years. That feeling of decline is contrary to your broader understanding of eternal nature of your being. I just want to stop here. I apologize. I just want to pause right here and say we are going on a 15-minute mark. I just want to say thank you for sharing this video. Share this video from 1 share to 100 shares, 100 shares to 1,000 shares, 1,000 shares to 10,000 shares, 10,000 shares to 100,000 shares. Yeah, I know the rest. 100,000 shares to 1,000,000 shares. And it all starts with you. Go to my wife's channel on our YouTube, Dion's Life. She's crushing it, y'all. I'm proud of her. She's doing big numbers. Tonight we're gonna be doing another competition. So she's going live, I'm going live, and to see who get the most subscribers tonight, who get the most likes, I know I'm gonna win. Nah, I don't know. She's doing her thing though. So help me out to beat her. It's all friendly competition. You know, that's my wife. So help me beat her tonight. So stay tuned. Um, I can't story. I can't tell stories of shortage and experience abundance. Continuing to tell stories of shortage. Continuing to tell shortage of. Continue to tell stories of shortages only continues to contradict your desires for abundance, and you cannot have it both ways. You cannot focus upon unwanted and receive wanted. You cannot focus upon stories about money that make you uncomfortable and allow it into your experience. What makes you feel comfortable? A different story will bring different results. My thoughts are the basis for the attraction of all things that I consider to be good, which includes enough money and health for my comfort and joy. Okay. The better my story gets, the better my life gets. Begin telling the story of your desire and then add to it the details of the positive aspects that you can find that match those desires. And then embellish your positive expectation by speculating with your good feeling. Wouldn't it be nice if someone bought 5 hoodies today? Hmm. You can say things like, only good things come to me, and I figured it out I you can say things like, only good things could come to me. Give me 1 second, y'all. You can say things like, only good things come to me, and I will figure it out as I go along. Every time you feel your better feeling story, you will feel better, and the details of your life will improve. The better it gets, the better it gets. The law of attraction responds to my vibration. A belief is nothing more than a chronic pattern of thought, and you have the ability, if you try even a little bit, to begin a new pattern, to tell a new story, to achieve a different vibration, and to change your point of attraction. The law of attraction is responding to your vibration, and you can easily change your vibrational point of attraction by visualizing the lifestyle you desire and holding attention upon those images until you begin to feel relief, which would indicate that a true vibrational shift has occurred. I can set my own standards for financial well being. Once you are able to achieve and consistently maintain your personal alignment, a great deal of money will flow into your experience if that is your desire. Do not let others set the standards about how much money you should have or about what you should do with it, for you are the only one who could ever actually define that. Come into alignment with who you really are and allow those things to flow into your experience that life has helped you know that you know that sorry life has helped you know that you want. The physical me is materialized spirit. Some of you say, some say that you should not want money at all because the desire for money is materialistic and not spiritual. But we want you to remember that you are here in the very physical world where spirit has materialized. You cannot separate yourself from the aspects of yourself that is spiritual. And while you are here in these bodies, you cannot separate yourself from that which is physical or material. All of the magnificent things of a physical nature that are surrounding you are spiritual in nature. Nature. That's some good tea. My what is need not influence my what is becoming. What has no bearing on what is coming unless you are continuing regurgitating the story of what is. By thinking and speaking more of how you really want your life to be, you allow what you are currently living to be the jumping off place for so much more. But if you speak predominantly of what is, then you still jump off, but you jump off into more of the same. Last page for today on this book. And shout out to my cousins. Again, Money and the Law of Attraction cards, Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teaching of Abraham. Very powerful, powerful cards book. I call this a book because I'm reading, but yeah, this is a book, but it's just in a card format. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. I'm grateful for everyone. I'm grateful for my team. I just want to shout out my team right quick, the True team, True Powerhouse team. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for your purchases of a clothing item that you bought. It could be a hat, a shirt, a hoodie, sweatpants, shorts, or socks. So I thank my team for that. I thank my wife as well, Dion's Life on YouTube. She's crushing it, y'all. I appreciate Dion. I really do. I love you. I adore you. So thank you for everything that you did for me. Fellas, go get your wife. Go get your wife. You know, she's my backbone. She's my support system. And I just love her for that. Rather than complaining, I will focus on positive aspects. When you focus upon lack and attitude of complaining, you establish a vibrational point of attraction that only gives you access to more thoughts of complaint. Your deliberate effort to tell a story will establish a new pattern of thought, providing you with a new point of attraction from your present, about your past, and into your future. The simple effort of looking for positive aspects will set a new vibrational tone that will begin the immediate attraction of thoughts, people, circumstances, and things that are pleasing to you. That's how you're gonna do it, yeah. Money and the Law of Attraction cards. $22, or if we ship them to you, I believe he says 30. Make sure you drink your teas, your waters, your juices. Now, I'll be reading two last things. It's gonna be quick. I have to get going, but I am here still. From God in Person, Master Fard Muhammad, by Elijah Muhammad, Messenger of Allah, book number 1, How to Eat to Live. Running page go like this. Struggling. Bear with me, y'all. I'm sorry. Food and health. I have said to eat no peas. At that time, I did not think about what we call sweet peas, which grow into pods. They can be eaten, but not filled peas. I had a reference to filled peas, such as black-eyed peas, brown, yellow, and black peas. There are some black filled peas. We all know that food and health keeps us here, and the same makes us sick and takes us away. If we do not make a practice of eating the right food and drinks that will not make us sick and cause an early death, The way the Almighty God, Allah, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, has taught us makes sense. When you get used to eating one meal a day, or every 24 hours, we start eating once every 2 days, which will give you to which will give to you and me better results than eating one meal a day. Even eating one meal a day and eating the right kind of food and having the pure drink will bring us health and prolonged life of which we would not even dream. You will be not sick if you eat correctly, and if I'm sorry, and let what you drink be pure, that which will not harm the body. Again, you will agree with me that we Americans are very gluttonous people and that we prepare our own sick bed, hospital bills, and undertaker bills with what we eat and what we drink. And besides this comes as a sick mind, and after a sick mind comes death. You just try you just try eating and drinking and living at peace with yourself and others, and you will write me and tell me these words are true. As for the swan, hog, he is well known to be an animal that we should not take for food because he puts a almost incurable disease in those who eat his flesh. These pages are sticking out there. Foods to eat. We should not be asking questions about what kind of foods to eat as much as we should be trying to eat one meal a day. This is where good health and the prolongation of life comes from. Good health and the prolongation of life comes from abstaining from filling our stomachs too frequently with food of any kind, good or bad. Of this I can assure you from self-experience. If we keep food going into our stomachs only once every 24 hours or 48 hours and do not get the foolish idea that this cannot be done, then we can train our stomachs to eat once a week, and our stomachs would not call for food more than once a week. This has been tried. If we could eat one meal a week, we could live as long as Methuselah. We can eat away from eating animal flesh and all kinds of scavenger seafoods. Do not eat large fish that weigh over 50 pounds, such as canned tuna. Sometimes this canned tuna comes from fish that weighs nearly 1,000 pounds or more. Do not eat halibut. Never heard of that before. Halibut. Catfish or carp. There is a cheap fish called buffalo, white buffalo, that you can eat. But do not eat any stale fish if you can help it. Even fish is not very good for us due to their animal-like instincts in the water, but we eat them, and it is not a sin to eat them edible fish. Many of the bass fish that are found in lakes, rivers, and running stream water are good to eat. Whitefish, channel trout, which is better. River trout and most perch are good to eat. You may eat fish that weigh from 1.5 to 4 or 5 pounds. We are reared. We were reared on the animal flesh that was the divinely prohibited flesh, the hog. We must not eat or put our hands on the carcass of the hog or sit around a place where it is being slaughtered or cooked. We should not even get the odor of it in our nostrils. It is a sin to deliberately stand and smell it being slaughtered or cooked. The devil did this harm to you and me, to you and me, and to the people all over the earth. Of course, we cannot blame him for doing this because he was not created to do righteousness anyway. Do not think hard of them for anything they do or teach you to do, because they are just doing their job. Nature has made them to be as they are. I pray Allah that He will remove from the planet Earth. I pray Allah that He will remove them from the planet Earth, so they would not deceive and misguide people from the right way. Eat only one meal a day and do not take food between meals, unless you are sick. A person that is sick and weak is excluded from the above said time of eating. Remember, do not eat those ugly horse beans that you have been eating. You have been eating lima beans, field peas. Eat only small navy beans, the white and pink in color. There are also large beans of the same color, but do not eat the great big beans. Eat the small ones. Cook them thoroughly. Feed them to your children. Do not eat freshly baked cakes. Give them a day dry out after baking. Do not ever hurry bread to bake, because it's better for us if it has been baked twice. Stay away from eating fried foods. Do not make a habit of filling your stomach with aged cheese. Eat cream cheese as much as possible, as it is better for your digestive system. Stay away from eating all meats and vegetables that are canned in metal cans as much as possible. Sometimes we are forced to eat them because we do not have any other. Try and get your food canned in jars, or while the food is in season. Buy it and can it in glass jars yourself. If you eat a vegetable meal, try to eat fresh vegetables. If you can purchase them from a market, remember, eat one meal a day, regardless to your type of work. You can live on one meal a day. This will help keep your doctor away from your door. Of course, eating one meal every 2 days or 3 days is even better. But you are not going to apply yourself to eating once every 2 or 3 days. So try and eat only one meal every 24 hours. Make it a habit of this, and you will feel better and have fewer allotments. This is How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad, Messenger of Allah. The last book I'll be reading will be the Holy Quran with English translation and commentary, Malani Muhammad Ali. Chapter 30, The Romans. Section 1, Great Prophecy. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I, Allah, am the best knower. The Romans are vanquished in the near land, and they, after their defeat, will gain victory. Within 9 years, Allah is the command before and after, and on the day that believes will rejoice. In Allah's help, He helps whom He pleases, and He is the mighty, the merciful. It is Allah's promise. Allah will not fail in His promise, but most people know not. They know that outward of this world's life, but of the hereafter they are heedless. Do they not reflect within themselves? Allah did not create the heavens and the earth and what is between them, but with truth and for a appointed term. And surely most of the people are deniers of meeting with their Lord. Have they not traveled in the earth and seen what was the end of those before them? They were stronger than these in powers, and dug up the earth and built on it more than these have built. And their messengers came to them with clear arguments, so it was not Allah who wronged them, but they wronged themselves. Then evil was the end of those who did evil, because they rejected the messages of Allah and mocked at them. Section 2, the two parties. Allah originates the creation, then reproduces it. Then to him you will be returned. The day when the hour comes, the guilty will despair, and they will have no intercessors from among their associated gods, and they will deny their associated gods. And the day when the hour comes, that day they will be separated from one another. Then, as to those who believe and did good, they will be made happy in the garden. As for those who disbelieve and reject our messengers, in the meeting of the hereafter, they will be brought to chastisement. So glory be to Allah when you enter the evening and when you enter the morning. And to him be praise in the heavens and the earth, and in the afternoon, and when the sun declines. He brings forth the living from the dead, and brings forth the dead from the living, and gives life to the earth after this death, and thus will you be brought forth. I could keep going for a couple more minutes. 4 more minutes. Section 3, manifestations of divine power in nature. And of his signs is this, that he created you from dust, then lo, you are mortals who are scattered. And of his signs is this, that he created mates for you from yourselves, that you might find quiet of mind in them. And he put between you love and compassion. Surely there are signs in this for a people who reflect. And of his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth and the diversity of your tongues and colors. Surely there are signs in this Surely there are signs in this for the learned. And of his signs is the sleep by night, and by day you are seeking of his bounty. Surely there are signs in this for the people who would hear. And of his signs is this, that he shows you the lightning for fear and for hope, and sends down water from the cloud, then gives life therewith to the earth after his death. Surely there are signs in this for the people who understand. And of his signs is this, that the heaven and the earth subsist by his command. Then when he calls you from the earth, lo, you come forth. And his is whosoever is in the heavens and the earth, all are obedient to him. And he it is who originates the creation, then reproduces it. And it is very easy to him. And his is the most exalted state in the heavens and the earth. And he is the mighty, the wise. That was the reading of the Quran, the Holy Quran, with English translation and commentary, Maulana Muhammad Ali version. I just want to say thank you for all spending time with me. It's going on 39 minutes. I'm grateful for my subscribers, my viewers, the people that watch, that don't say nothing, that don't heart or nothing like that. It's okay. I'm doing this for myself, just educating my brain, my mind to read daily, forcing myself to do it. This is not an easy task for me to do. However, I'm willing to do it. I just pray I just pray right now for peace, love, unity, community, family. I pray for the abundance and wealth of knowledge, understanding, information. I pray for clarity right now. Allow your will to be done here on this earth. Allow us to move forward in the way that you want us to go. Also, I'm just going to end this live broadcast saying, go out there and do something positive. Be a friend to someone. More better than that, be a brother. Peace.